Hey, good morning, my good people. How are you? Welcome to this episode. My name is Yonis Kaluki, and with me is my sister. She will leave for her to introduce herself. Then we'll introduce the agenda for today.
Yeah, I'm Claudia Mutua, and my hashtags are @cislimgelo on every platform.
Wow, that is good. So the purpose of this episode is to be able to introduce to you the finance bill and also be able to make each and everyone understand what are some of the clauses contained in it, why are people rejecting the finance bill, and what are some of the pros and the cons, and then finally we'll declare our stand as it comes to the finance bill. So for this, I will be the person who is answering the question, then C will be interviewing me. Welcome. Stay tuned. If you have a comment, remember to comment down below as we all get to educate each other. And do not forget to subscribe to our channel.
Are you ready for the question?
Oh, yeah, it's very ready, like yesterday,
Yeah, the first question is, what is finance bill?
Finance bill. Let me start tackling from the year 2023. When you remember, there is a bill that was passed in the year 2023 when the president was already in power, that is President Ruto. That was called the Finance Bill 2023. So when you go to the Twitter space or when you go to online, you see whatever people are contexting against is the Finance Bill 2024. So we already came from the Finance Bill 2023, which now people are asking, what are some of the things this finance bill has done for us? Because when you remember, under the finance bill 2023, we had what we called housing levy, where you found those people who are working, they were already affected by that bill. So in layman's language, a finance bill is a bill passed by the government or like by the parliament, but it has to be signed by the president to be able to raise money in a specific year. So that's why if you hear it's called Finance Bill 2024. So it is supposed to raise money between the time it is passed if it is passed in August, it will be reviewed in August of 2025. So it's kind of a finance bill to raise particular amount of money within a specified period of time. And now somebody would ask, so why do we need to raise money whereas we already have the budget? Whereas KRA is already collecting money. So that's where the dispute comes in. So the government decided we already have people paying taxes, but these taxes are not enough. Well, that's like what they feel, because you find we have bills, we have the expenses which we need to fund. So the finance bill comes in to fill the gap. After people have paid the taxes, which other means are we able to use to collect money? So that's why you find out the government is right under the finance 2024, we are introducing maybe tax on bread, because they've decided many people are consuming bread for breakfast. So if we tax this bread, that would mean we are going to have more income or like more taxes coming to the side, and now we are able to offset more loans on that area.
Okay. And after how long is the finance bill read or drawn back?
So what happens in this? First, we start with an idea or like a concept where people are going out to conceptualize. We already agreed we have a problem. Whatever we are collecting is not enough. Now we need to introduce methods or like ways of how we are going to get money from our citizens. If now I'm the government. So from this government of Kenya, we are saying, we understand we have the citizen. They're already paying taxes, but we are still strained. We need to maybe raise more money from this budget. Maybe the budget is let's say 1 trillion, but you find out of this 1 trillion, you see like not meeting the needs. So you decide, let's raise 346 billion, which the new finance bill is looking at raising. So you asked, what are some of the clauses? So what was done is not they had a sitting where people sat. A finance committee was formed where they were told, we need to raise this money within this next financial year. So how best are we able to raise it? So it's best to introduce the finance bill. So when you introduce a finance bill, you do not take all members of parliament to promulgate the finance bill. You only need accession of the people for you to be productive. Because take an example of this. Assuming you have 206 MPs, you're not going to have all sitting and trying to agree on points. So what you do first is form a finance committee. So that is what happened. After you form a finance committee, what they bring to the people is now what we call a draft. So a draft means it is not at its final stage. It's just something that is written to be submitted to the people to get the views of the people. So if you remember well, after the draft was generated by the finance committee, is now where you have public participation. The bill is submitted to the people. These are some of the models that we've decided we want to raise money. Because remember, the government, it's people are what from the government. The government gets its power from the people. So that's why you find the public participation is very critical in this particular point. Because if the mwananchi wa kawaida, is asking for some money from you, so you need to be able to make them to understand, why are we having this in place, So that's now it. If you remember, there's a time now we had the content creators were invited, all media houses, like various people were invited to debate on this finance bill. But at that particular moment, it was just a draft. So after now, you get the public participation, the public opinions is now when you get the opinions and you include them into the finance bill, or rather into what I would call a draft at this moment. So after now, you've heard from what people are saying and you've included whatever. Now you need not to take it on to the members of the public. What now in this particular instance we are calling the MPs. Why are we taking it to the MPs? We are taking it to the MPs since MPs are the representatives of the people. If it's in a certain constituency, the particular MP would assume is representing the voices of those people in that particular constituency. So you need now to take to them. Your people, we invited your people to participate. Your people said, so, because you are representing your people, now come and help us to pass this bill. But so that's where you find you have a first reading. So the first reading, you have the MPs. Because you find the finance bill has clauses contained in it. So the people are going to be read the finance bill. Then they are going to say their views about them. They are going to highlight areas which they kind of feel they are not okay. Which areas which are oppressing the mwananchi, and which areas are good. So this is now the first reading. After now the MPs give their views, is now when you find now you go to the second reading. Now, but also remember, during the first reading, you are at that time you're also able to vote it. Do you want it to proceed? Because anything that has to be passed in parliament just always be passed through votes. What is the major concern on that? You find the parliament is always the opposition, and is the government, among the people in the government. So you find because of that, or like because of divergent views, you need the finance bill to, or whatever issue you've taken to the parliament, to be voted to go to the next stage. So what would have happened if during the first stage the finance bill was voted out? That would be it, would have scrubbed it off. We are done, let's get other means. So in this particular area, so it went through the first reading, it passed. It went now through the second reading. And as we also hear in the moment it has passed. So after the second reading is now when we go. Remember, the first and the second reading is majorly debating on the clauses in this finance bill. Then on the third reading is now where you are being told this has already gone back to the finance committee. They have included all your concerns. Now this is the final bill which you want to present to the president to sign. So that is during the third bill. Everything has been heard, people have voted. So after now, like in this scenario, what is going to happen on Thursday is not what we are calling the third reading. Like, or rather saying this is our final bill, this is what we want to present to the president. But now people would ask, now what would happen when it gets to the president? So the president is just to amend a signature, or like to append his signature, because this has already been debated by the people who are representing the people in the country. So, but now for a bill to be passed, it has always to be passed by the president. Reason because the president is the sovereign power in the country. So that's why he needs to pass that bill. Thank you.
Yeah, and what?
Yes.
We are back. What are the number of the pages in the finance bill, and what are some of the items that you yourself have read and sent them from the finance bill?
Wow, that's a very good question. First, the finance bill contains 136 pages. Just imagine, 136. And then you're giving people 2 weeks to debate, and that is a 136 page document. So what I would say is, at the moment we are feeling the process has been rushed, but let's maybe leave that aside. you've also asked about what are some of the things that are included in the finance bill, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me tackle from the perspective of giving the cons and the pros, because you'll find any document has a pro and it has a cons. But to be fair, let me just start with the cons. We have what would call the motor vehicle levy. That is not even making sense. 2.5%. People are already paying customs. So why do you need like to tax them more just to own the vehicle? Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all. So those are some of the things you find like people are feeling this. No, if you are saying this on the motor vehicle, then what is your approach? Because take it this way: if you are going to impose that levy on the vehicle, then you will find whatever we are doing, you need the vehicles to move. Either way, you need people to move. Transport is a very key aspect in any growing economy.
Sure.
Yeah, you need people to move around, people to intersect between counties, maybe different countries. Then you say, no, you want to add the tax. That would mean if you're going to add that, it would also bring an addition to the fuel. So if the fuel goes up, yeah, and as we are aware, everything depends on fuel. The bread we are eating, everything that we are using is always like manufactured in some way using fuel. So it would generally affect the general running cost. If it affects the general running cost, nobody is willing to bear that cost. So if I were a manufacturer and I'm affected, the first thing I would do is I will pass the cost to the direct consumer. So either way, because this manufacturer has passed the cost to the direct consumer, or like whom I would call at that moment maybe the normal citizen, so those are people who will be affected because the manufacturer is not bearing that cost. But now, take it maybe in an example where you have small startups. The costs are too high, the running costs are too high, you're not able to afford, you're just struggling. Maybe you just need to set up a company. Those running costs are too high. So that will mean it is going to scare people out of the industry. If it scares people out of the industry, that would mean you will
go and invest outside.
Yeah, either invest outside or like number two, because if this company has gone, if it has crumpled, it was employing people. Yeah. So right now you're saying you want to create jobs, but you are forcing companies to close. So how are you creating jobs? Whereas you are scaring people out of employment. So that is, it may look maybe minor. Maybe when we see it just as a motor vehicle levy, but the impact, if we dissect it, take an example of a circle. It has so many portions. When we draw things to do the circumference and all that, the radius. So if we are going to portion all this, you'll find there are so many areas which are carried by this motor vehicle levy that are going to suffer more rather than if we did not have that levy on the vehicles. Number two, tax on bread. Right now, bread is going for 65 shillings. They want to add 10 shillings to it. That is 75 shillings. Yeah. 75 shillings. You feel like everybody can afford breakfast in this country?
Not really.
And 75 we're talking about, that is 500 mm bread. That 500 milligram of bread. Yeah, the small bread actually. So if that is 75, take the normal mwananchi, or like the normal mama boga whom we are talking about, whom we are saying the economy is bottom up, whom we need like to protect.
It just turn up to be up down.
Yeah, it seems like it's up down because if the mama inji, normal mwana inji, 75 and as maybe 4 kids, they are not able to feed on that bread. So that would mean they need 2 loaves of bread to be able to feed the household. That is just for breakfast. We've not counted lunch. We've not counted supper and all that. So like no, they are making what is a basic need to the normal mwananchi or like to the mwananchi to become like a luxury. Bread is not a luxury to us. People need things into their stomach. So if you tax the basic needs, what are you trying to tell the normal mwananchi?
Like you are trying to tell them mwananchi they should quit from their basic needs and turn them into luxuries, which is not.
Which is kind of just telling them, you know what, I want you to die. Because if you do not have food.
And about the issue on sanitary towels, what's the point of view as a lady?
Let me tell you, my sister, one thing I've noticed is you may see maybe a higher until maybe we're able to afford that pad. But think of it maybe in terms of people in other counties, People are not able to afford that pad. You see, there are people who go even to the shops. They only buy just a piece of that pad because they're not able to afford buying the packet. So think of it in this way. You're telling us whatever you are taxing is just the pads from outside. But let's be realistic anyway. The only pads which are manufactured in Kenya, there are only 2. And when we go to the quality, we are not able to, how would I say, to support them. It's not something like I would vouch for to say, this is of good quality, please go. You will not compare, let's say, Cortex and Softcare. Or like Cortex and...
Senegal.
Yeah, Senegal. So if you tell me Senegal is what is being produced in Kenya and you want everybody to go there, it's not everybody who is comfortable with that. Unless they are going to up their quality. And telling them to up their quality is kind of telling us you need to upgrade in terms of the pricing. It is not making sense at all. You're saying you need to tax the parts. Not everybody is able to afford. Right now, you remember, imagine a packet of Cortex, that is 8 pieces. Costs around 130 shillings. Just 8 pieces.
That's a lot.
And in a day, assuming you need 2 pieces. So are you even like, will it even take somebody through the menstrual cycle? Okay. That person is already hustling. They are not able to afford 200 shillings in a day. And you want them to spend more on just sanitary pads? Oh, my friends. That was a very big joke, even like to the ladies who propagated that, who did that inclusion to the finance bill. That was very, very, very much wrong. So I do not support, particularly that same clothes. So many people are going without pads. So many people are using clothing during the menstrual cycle. And you want to tax the pads? Had it more? No, it isn't making sense. That one
isn't a luxury and it is compulsory for
you. It's not a luxury.
It should be free.
Even about being a luxury. It's not kind of you have a choice about it.
Yeah, it's a must.
Yeah, it is a must. It just comes. You can't say, no, I do not want you. No, you don't have that choice. It just comes to you because you're a lady. So what are you telling us to do? To avoid going through that natural process?
How?
How now? We can't.
No,
it's a natural process, guys. Let's be serious. You're making me to be mad, Sorry about that.
No problem. And about you as an hustler, how will the finance bill affect you once it is passed?
Let me take you back to a scenario that was when the fuel prices were going for, was it 200 on that summit? I think there was that time. So somebody may say, if we just tax these few items, we are not going to tax the rest. But I'm saying these are the overall running costs. At some point, it's going to affect somebody. What brought this an issue of the fuel is when the fuel was up, the fare prices were hiked. And you will agree with me right now, the fuel prices right now for maybe let's say for petrol is around 197 or like 193. But are we seeing the significant change in fare still? No, we're still paying the fare prices for when the fuel was 217. So what are you trying to tell us? Like when maybe you, at some point, you're going to lower it. You may lower it, but who is benefiting by the end of the day? It's the big fish. The people who are owning those companies. Someone like Yokaday is not going to benefit because they're still going to attain the same products at the same cost when the prices were hiked. So as a normal mwananchi, I feel I'm very, very much affected. Not so many people are able to afford a packet of unga. When it comes to fare prices, it has gone up. When it comes to taxes, there's the housing levy, the NSSF, the shift, which they've changed it. And remember, all this now is based on your gross pay. It's no longer based on maybe constant value. So it is really affecting us. And the sad part is we are being taxed all this much. Or like we are paying these taxes. But now we do not have an issue with paying the taxes. We are very much okay. We are patriotic. We know for our country to grow, we need taxes. So what we have an issue is not the taxes. What we have an issue is this money we are being taxed, or like this money or this revenue we are generating for the government. How is it being used?
We are not saying how it is being
used. Yeah, we are not. Yes, that is the issue. It's ending up in corrupt pockets. So by the end of the day,
because already we have scarce resources in Africa.
Yeah,
and we should utilize the little we have.
Yeah, so what you are going to see by the end of all it all, you will find is either you are too rich or like you're too poor. You can be in between. But that is the scenario we do not want, where people drive comfortably, 40 million guzzlers. and the other person is even straining to have the fare. No, we need a balanced economy. And for us to have that balanced economy, it's starting with checking every clause in the finance bill. We dissect it all. It's 136 pages. They are saying they are going to amend. Which part are they going to amend? They may amend on one area where you're saying they are going to lower the price of this, but the raw materials they are going to tax. If you tax the raw material, the raw material is everything you need to produce a good. So how are you saying you are going to have tax on the raw materials? If you tax the raw material is the basic, is the smallest unit. Assuming if we are looking at an atom, that's the smallest unit. If I need to produce this raw pillow, of course I need raw materials. If I tax this, that means for me to be able to recover those costs, I need to sell this pillow at a higher cost. And now you see what is paying? Renovating furniture at status at 1 billion. Do we need to incur all those costs? Yeah, I think we are not in touch with with our priorities as a country. Furniture, renovating buildings. Gosh, what are we trying to tell the normal mwananchi in this scenario?
Mambo yamechemka.
Yeah.
And about yesterday, we all saw how it went. Things were not good all over the country, in every county. And the police officers were against the protesters.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the police officers should be on the side of the protesters, or they should be against? Because they were all over throwing tear gas and all the pili-pili water.
First, I condemn in the biggest words possible. I condemn the acts of the police. It's a right. It's in the Constitution of Kenya, which was brought into impact, that is in 2005. It gave the mwananchi the right to demonstrate, or like the right to protest and picket. So somebody would ask, what is the difference of these two? Protesting is like you want your needs to be heard, and the picketing is you are able even to go outside that office of that person to make your needs be heard. So that is what we are saying. We are protesting and we are picketing. So I can decide to protest outside, maybe in my house. I can decide to protest in the online spaces. But if I need to go, if I need my voice to be heard well, that means I need to go where the problem is, right? Yeah, that's the only way I'm able to solve the problem. So that's why you are finding people are picketing. Picketing is now going. We have an issue with these people, the members of parliament. So we are going to parliament. We need them 2 years. But then you find, because the ongoing protests, because I think they're still ongoing. I don't think there's an end to it anytime soon, based on maybe some remarks made by the president. But let's not tackle that right now. So the protests were very peaceful. They made their need known. They had already communicated. We do not want this finance bill. And now you see what is upsetting the people. You are the member of the public. Then now you get to hear people are paid to pass the bill. So why would you be paid to pass the bill and you are representing us? Like, take this scenario. You're my boss. You say no to something, then I proceed going to do it. What would you do? So you're supposed to fire me.
Yeah.
That's what is supposed to happen. So that's why in the morning it's man. We appointed you to represent us. We said no to this finance bill. So why are you going forward to vote yes? Who are you representing? Because clearly you're not representing our interest. So if you're not representing your interest, tell us who you are representing. Because it's clearly not us. So that's why you find people are mad. People are holding these people accountable. People are making them to know for every choice you're going to make, there's always a consequence to it. You cannot go making vulgar statements, go just making your own decisions, whereas the people who elected you and you expect them not to hold you accountable. So I really do protest against what police are doing. We are demonstrating for our rights.
And we are one people.
We are one people. Yeah, we're also fighting for you.
Policemen.
You know?
Should come together, we fight this thing together.
Yeah, we should have unity. It's tribeless actually. It's even partyless. Now to make it interesting, it's even leaderless. So we do not need a leader, because when you need a leader, people may be bought out. And that's what we do not want. We do not want division. Right now we want one voice. And remember what? Our strength lies in the numbers. That's how the scenario we saw in parliament yesterday. The police were there, were armed. But And the scenario it is, people have graduated and do not have jobs. People are not able to afford the basic commodities. People, they have nothing to live for. They do not have an ikigai. They do not have a purpose because the government has already robbed them of all that. So that's why people have decided it is enough. And because we've tried all means for you to hear us and you do not want, we've tried the online spaces, we've tried to send letters and all that to Parliament and all that, and we are not being heard. So we are going to fight for ourselves because nobody is there anyway to fight for us. So we are going to make you want to hear us because we are saying the power lies with the people. It is always the people. Without the people, we do not have a government. You cannot rule ashes, you cannot rule furnitures, technology, all that. So it is a sad state of the government where you find people are just doing things the way they want it. Mostly the MPs where somebody is just being bought because that would bring an issue with corruption. So let's face out first this corruption. Then after we face out corruption, now let's bring the talk on how we are going to raise more taxes. Because I do not want you to tax me to make you rich. No, I'm also struggling. The same sweat. It's my sweat, I should know where every cent maybe it's being gotten from me to finance the government where it is going. Yeah, so that is my view on that.
And once we lose our fear, they lose their power.
Yeah.
They made there on Thursday.
Yeah, remember our strength lies in numbers. Actually, I was researching and I found out that if Kenya want to deploy all its army or like the police, they only have 24,000. So 24,000 and the number right now, as per the census, Kenya has 53 million people. So assuming we eliminate even kids, let's say 24 against 10 million. The police would do nothing to us because right now people are even ready to die. They have nothing to live for. So they are ready to die fighting for their country. So this you find like we are going back to the Mama Wera. And now trust me after this. This I'm sure it will go to the books of history because this is something that has never happened. And let me tell these people one thing. Parliament is one of the restricted areas. People should not be able to access that area. So it has never happened in the 61-year history. It has never happened.
But this did it yesterday.
But it was done. It has been done since 1963 when we got independence. But now things now are turning. People are no longer keyboard warriors. People are no longer afraid to speak for themselves because they have nothing to lose. We do not have any piece of land. And one thing I've not mentioned maybe in the finance bill, they also know right now you will not be able to own a land. You've bought a land, but you are just listening to it's like that you are just listening. The land belongs to the government. So it will mean for our generation they will have nothing to run to or like nothing to inherit. That is what we are trying to fight against. Maybe not for ourselves. Right now you may decide to kill us. But what our sweat today is going to determine how our future generations are going to live. We do not want to leave the country or like our country to our generations that has no future. So we are fighting for our future generations. We want to ensure they have a sustainable future. That Kenya is being run towards the right direction. We don't have an issue with the president. We have an issue with how our money is being spent. We have an issue of how we are being addressed as citizens. We are the people with the power. And we respect you. You are our leaders. We need to respect you, yes. But remember, respect begets respect, right? You cannot go online and just howl words just the way you want. No, we have to respect each other. It's a right for everybody to protest. It's our right to be heard. It's our right to have that peaceful dialogue. So let's ensure in whatever we are doing, we are working towards having this peaceful dialogue, working towards ensuring the Mwananchi is getting accountability. It is transparency in every process of our way. And one thing I've liked about this, sister, is that after this, everything is going to change. People are no longer going to depend on parties for elections. So you will find people are more of depending on
the truth.
The truth of that person. Is this person able to help us? If no, that cancel. So we're not going to lie. Then also remember right now we are tribeless. People are coming together. People are helping each other. The Jalu is helping the Kikuyu. The Kalenjin is helping the other people. It's not about the campus alone. No. Right now there are protests in every part of the country. Actually, out of them, how many counties are there? I think 43.
47.
Oh, 47.
Yeah,
so out of the 47, 34 came out to demonstrate. Came out to protest. What is that telling you? It's no longer a fight about which county. No, it's now Kenya. They've decided to come together. We've decided it's our time to be heard. And the best the president can do is just give us that year. Let's be heard. Let's our concern be heard. Let us know how our taxes are being spent. Okay. Yep.
And yesterday the president made a statement about yesterday's protesting and all that. What's your point of view about the statement he made? Do you think he still cares about the people's voice to be heard, or he doesn't care?
For that, I would respond in this way. How you address people, or like how you show yourself how during time of difficulty, it does not show you that you are weak. Agreeing that something is wrong, it does not show that you are weak. It just shows that you're able to reason beyond the concerns, your own concerns, that you're able to reason for the country. So what I would say, the statements were not actually okay. They were not okay because they just showed a lot of arrogance. And right now, that is not what Mwananchi wants, because we've already received this arrogance for a very long time. So right now we want to be heard. So the best the president would have done would have acknowledged those people who died during when they were fighting for their freedom. Because right now it's kind of we are fighting for our freedom, the freedom of our money. Because remember when people went to the parliament, they were eating the food saying, this is our food, this is food bought with our money. So why should we not eat? Why are you even calling us criminals? How would you call somebody criminal, somebody who is just peacefully demonstrating for what is peacefully theirs? You cannot call it to be a traitorous act, because treason means like anybody captured during that, what is going to happen is going to slay everybody. Because treason is like, as long as you're against that, it's like death. It's like death. There's no conversation around that. That is not what we want. You cannot kill our people for standing out for whatever they want. So I do not agree. Saying that you support what the police did, and whatever we see, what the police did actually killed people. They were using live bullets. So how would you go and support what the police did, where they were killing peaceful kids, innocent kids, the kids of the mothers or like of the generation that brought you into power? How do you go killing them? Assuming those are your kids, how would you feel about them? So the president should have compassion, should have sympathized with the citizen. Show them it's okay with value. Because one thing which you'll realize, what people needed the president to say, we do not want this. The people have said they do not want this finance bill. So the president was just to withdraw, say, okay, we value. You are our citizen. You are the people who have given us power. So we value. So what you are going to do, if this bill is the issue, then we are not going to pass it. I'm not going to sign it into power. Yes. So let's scrap the whole thing and go back to the drawing board, come up with another bill that is going to please, or that is appealing, or that is taking care of the pockets of the citizens, Yeah. So I think the president should have done better on that. Right now is not the time to cause more chaos. People are not afraid of dying actually, because he said he's bringing the KDF. The KDF are people who are highly harmed. So that would mean it's kind of you're declaring war on these people. That is a massacre. The country wants to kill its own people. But remember, the country cannot run, the government cannot run without people. People are the government. Not the government is not the people. People have voted from the government. So that is what we should be able to understand. So let's have peaceful dialogues. Let's find for ways of how we are going to assist each other. How the government is going to hear us, yes, because we already know where the issue is. And trust me, sister, one thing that is going to happen is when all these talks proceed, people now will go beyond the finance bill and start saying, no, this president is arrogant, so we do not even leave alone the finance bill. We do not want the president. And that would be a very bad scenario for us, because now it would bring things to do with maybe a cope where now the government needs to be withdrawn. So we do not want that. So that's why I was saying, as I as this, just hear us. You know what we want. Just withdraw the finance bill. We are not afraid of paying taxes. We are not refusing to pay taxes. Let's get back to the drawing board. Because when you say you have mentioned some of the clauses, what else do we know is hidden there? We do not even have that time to read right now. Right now we are just focusing on this time now you want to pass. Why do you want to pass this bill very much in a hurry? That would mean there are things which you've hidden. So we need time. We need actually plenty of time. We need plenty of time to dissect this thing, to go line by line, to see under the lines everything, to underline everything. So don't rush this. So if possible, let's just scrap the whole process. We agree we have spent money on it, but put it aside. Let's go back. Let's start afresh. There's nothing wrong with going back. Retreating does not mean like you're weak. Surrendering does not mean you're weak. No, it means you want what is good for the people of Kenya, and even the people of Kenya want what is good for them. And now they are deciding, the people in power right now, that it's not what is good for us right now. And that is not the scenario we want. So the elections are quite far away, that is in 2027. But before we get to that scenario, we want to ensure every process is running smoothly. Through dialoguing, through taking care of the interest of the mwananchi, through protecting the mwananchi in all manner possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys, and stay tuned for the next episode. This was our point of view about the finance bill, and we'll come back with more about that.
Okay guys, bye bye. See you later.